Hello, Grant.
Hello, Corey.
How you going?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Oh, yeah, box of fluffy ducks. This is Grant. He was my best man. I've known him for years, for all his sins. And what we're going to do is run through my somewhat dubious car history.
I'm confused. Are we here? Am I here for a roasting or to critique?
Don't be too hard. Well, there's no point critiquing. And what prompted this? One of my colleagues from many years ago, shout out to Andy Duncan, suggested, you should talk about the cars you've had. Remember the snot. So we will touch on the snot, and we'll be shortly introducing the snot. So yeah, I've done a little presentation. So we'll have a look at that, and we'll run through it. The cars. Do you remember seeing that, Grant?
No.
I took that photo about probably, I don't know, 12 or 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe you did. Yeah. Well, yeah, something like that. It was on Pawatahanui roundabout.
Okay.
But anyway, let's hook into it. So cars I have owned, we've got quite a list of about
most of them end up like that too.
Most of them do.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Lunar wheels. So obviously we all learnt in something. A bit of context. I'm 50 now, so when I was learning to drive was the mid 80s, when I was about 14, 15 years old. And like many of us, the first car we learned to drive in is good old Mum's car. And Mum's car for me was a 1974 1.3 litre 2-door Vauxhall Viva. It wasn't in this fetching blue colour. It was a kind of a gold beige with the black vinyl roof.
Nice.
So shout out to Mum. And let's not mention the 13 people I had in at one Guy Fawkes night. But anyway, all good. So yeah.
Classic car. Worth good money today.
Worth great money today, as most of those old former shitters were. So yeah, so that's what I learned to drive in. Good old 4-speed manual. Thanks for coming. Slow as a wet week.
It really set the tone for your entire car collection, didn't it?
Well, I think this thing set the tone. This was my first car.
This is a car worth good money today. This was a good car.
Well, a lot of this first decade or so of cars are all worth good money today.
Oh, because the Japanese coupes.
Most of them are shit.
The 70s coupes were awesome. And
they were. Yeah. The one I had was quite a nice metallic green, dark green colour. 5-speed manual, nice real imitation wooden interior, bit of tan vinyl, you know.
And buckets of rust.
Buckets of rust, bucket seats. Bloody, you know, what do you want? Every kid should have one.
Oh, fantastic.
I don't know about that one with the twin pipes. So yeah, so that was a good little car to a point.
It's solid car, solid start.
The point of that being the 1-lane bridge between Puranawa and Lake Ferry. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, there I was cruising along one day, and some bastard coming the other way didn't give way, so we had a little bit of a coming together. Corey fared all right. Unfortunately, the Mitsubishi Galant required a bit of remedial work. Dan knew some people, which is good, so we got it back on the road. A few new panels. I think there was might have been a blue bonnet, one red guard, one white guard, and it trucked on for a wee while. And then someone knew someone who knew a painter, So I got it painted. And can you guess what color we got it painted? When someone does you a favor, you just get whatever you can get.
You got white?
And this is where the snot came in. So there you go, Andy Duncan. It's as close as I could get to the snot.
It looks like you did paint it yourself, didn't you?
Well, it was a pretty, you get what you pay for. It wasn't the greatest job. But yeah, but it trucked on for a wee while, for a few months. Until one day cruising along Nono Road, as you do, just heading it towards Waddington Drive. All of a sudden it stopped. Everything ceased. And there was a bang. And that was the end of the Mitsubishi Galant.
The good old reliable Japanese engine from the 70s.
The good old, what were they? Asterons.
Yeah,
Asteron
1850 Astron. Yep.
Yeah.
Overhead valve from memory.
Yeah. As you'll soon learn, Grant knows a lot more than I do, especially when it comes to cars. I know about driving them. Grant can actually do stuff. Good guy to know.
Sometimes.
So then,
that's
come on down.
You had an 82. Mine was a 78.
Yeah, no, mine was an 82 2-litre.
That's the last year. That's the last year. Last year of production.
In that colour.
Oh, I think last year of Celeste production.
With the obligatory rear louver.
Yeah.
Because mine was Celeste without a rear louver.
Mine was a 78, which was the 1850. Same as.
Cheers, boy.
Yeah, legendary. I'm thinking, I've got a coffee.
Mel said, "Oh, why don't you have a beer?" Because I don't have any beer. And then she said, "Oh, you've got these minis of bourbon that have sat in the thing for mail." I'm like, "That's a good idea. We'll have a quiet bourbon and coke." But yeah, the old Celeste, great little car. Again, pretty difficult to find out because most of them have rusted into oblivion.
I got another great rust bucket.
Yep. Yep. So I sold that to a workmate who actually popped it up on Facebook not that long ago. Funnily enough, the old yellow beastie.
Yeah, yeah.
So then, 1983 Ford Cortina S pack. My dad, when I was learning to drive, had a Mark IV, and I wasn't really allowed to drive it because it was a bit too powerful. But a few years later, I got a white one of these with the fetching blue interior.
Oh, nice.
And the almost obligatory flip-up sunroof.
Pop top, yep.
That was a beast. That was a great little car. Can't remember what happened to it.
The old 2-litre Pinto motor.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. And again, the fetching interior.
Yeah.
Bloody corker. So then I think I must have wanted something more modern. And I can't remember buying this car, but I can remember owning it. I remember thrashing it up to Taupo, going around out just past Turangi and really wishing it had power steering. So it was good when you were going at speed, but not so much when you weren't. Ford Telstar anniversary.
It was horrible when it was new.
Yep. Parts bin special. We need to get rid of the last of them.
Yeah, it's just a Cortina. It's a Cortina, but in a Japanese body.
As I alluded to, it's a Mazda.
Yeah. It's horrible.
It's not even a Ford.
Actually, the funniest thing is
when that's a bad thing.
When you take parts off the Mazda 66 and the Telstar, quite often they'll have Ford Mazda or Mazda or Ford on the parts underneath. It's really funny.
Exactly.
So when about you own this one? What sort of year are we talking about?
This will be about. This would have been at. This probably would have been when I was at Telecom.
So it's just as we met.
I've had this. Yeah.
But I don't remember this car.
Early 90s.
So it must be just before we
maybe just before. Yeah. Wouldn't be far off.
Yeah.
Yeah. The old blue bitch.
Yeah.
And there we bang.
As they did.
As they did.
Crappy engine.
This one here is actually on Trade Me right now. This red one.
Really?
You can buy it. I think they want about $5,000 for it.
Oh, mate, tell me dreaming.
Yeah. Good luck. So yeah, okay. Time for something reliable. So in my wisdom,
I'm going to hang up this call.
Yeah, no, settle down. You don't know anything. This scarred me for many years. I went and borrowed, I think, about $5,000. Went to a car dealer, bought this for about $5,000. It was an ex-courier car, done 200,000 Ks, had, you know, the mags and tinted windows and all the business. I thought I was shit hot. I would have had this at Telecom, definitely.
Have we worked out the car that when we went flatting together? Because I don't remember this.
No, I was at Mitsubishi then. So I had work cars.
Oh, there's that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You were still at Telecom. It was before Mitsubishi.
Okay.
Because when we went and lived,
no, I would have had this.
It must have been that, but it's so. I can see why now. I don't remember it. It's so.
It's unmemorable. Yeah.
It's so unmemorable.
Yeah. But anyway, the point being, I went and borrowed $5,000. Had this car for about a year. Good little car. Gently cruising over the hill to Lake Ferry one day, and bang.
So of course, we've got a theme.
We have got a theme.
You're consistently blown.
At this stage, owed about, I think, $3,000 on this car that was now worth nothing. So I swore that I'd never borrow money again for a car.
Fair enough.
That was like, you fucking idiot. You absolute muppet. Bad idea. So lesson learned. And this is why, as you'll see.
So then you become a car dealer to try and convince people to borrow money to buy cars.
Well, anyway, that'll be another video. So no car, over bank a few grand. I know what I'll do. I'll buy a Mitsubishi Starion GSR Turbo because that's sensible. This one's on trade me at the moment as well. If someone's got 30 grand or something.
30 grand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was this colour. Wasn't quite as nice as this one. Also, I loved it. It was a great little car.
They were a good car.
You can guess what happened.
Oh. Corey didn't check the oil again?
Oh, no, I checked the oil. Oil was fine.
Oh.
Turbo was fucked. TDO5. Yawn. So yeah, bye-bye.
Good theme running.
And that was when I was at DB. Yeah. So you would have known me then.
Yeah.
And that was when I buggered off to Auckland.
Yeah.
DB transferred me up there. So I got something sensible. Nice, reliable Honda. And it was. Good little car. Cost nothing to run. Reliable. Until... What do you reckon?
You traded it. You didn't blow this one up.
Oh, you're half right. I didn't blow it up.
I got pinched that one.
Yep.
That's right. I do.
Yeah, Birkenhead Mall. The underground car park. Got found about a week later in South Auckland. And yeah, she was a bit of a write-off.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then DB transferred me back down to Wellington, and I had company cars, and obviously, you know, doesn't matter. So a few years later, I'm off to the West Island. Hello, Brisbane.
Oh, Brizzy.
Good old Brisneyland. Desperate for some wheels once I decided I was going to stay. Of course, didn't have much in the budget department, but I was really bloody desperate. And you know what you should do?
This is it now. We're going to the Aussie cars, the Aussie built stuff, the 6 cylinders.
Not necessarily.
What was the first one? Because I remember some of them over there. Oh no!
You wouldn't have seen that one.
Did I see that one?
No, I don't think you would have.
No, I never saw that.
This was the first one I had when I was there.
Yeah.
I think I had it for about 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
And then took it for its first roadworthy certificate under my ownership. and it was munted.
Excellent.
So that one went to the toilet.
Yeah.
So then I was desperate for some air conditioning because it's quite warm in Brisbane. Got the dirty old Magna.
Yeah.
Just a cheap crapper. Had that for about 10 months before it came due for its roadworthy. You guessed it.
Fail.
Then an opportunity. Thanks, Kim. My old flatmate, her mum and dad, who lived in South Australia, were selling their Commodore, which was an awesome car. I'm not sure how long I had it. I had it for quite a while.
You know what? Because that's the one that because I went over it a couple of times, and
Yeah,
I remember cruising around that.
Yeah, I put the BMW mags on it. And it was good. Then headed back to New Zealand, sold it to a colleague, and I think Nick that it might have not lasted too long. But yeah, sorry about that, mate. So back home, need some wheels, $2,000 on record. That was when I was staying with you.
Yep.
When I first came back. But someone wasn't happy. Was he?
You just sort of did the run of old man cars.
Yeah.
Which hasn't really changed.
Steady.
But we'll get onto that later. All right. And who does that? Who does you a favour?
That was a great little car. I love that car.
Awesome little cars.
Great little car.
We had at the same time had
the most fun. Yeah. The most fun you can have legally and not at stupid speed. Awesome. And a really good car to learn about driving. If you're thinking about buying a car for a young person or not. But yeah, go the GTI.
Great little car.
Yeah.
Damn near bulletproof too.
Pretty good call, to be fair. Pay credit where it's due. You know.
I was proud of you there. You've done well.
I had done well. I'd done good.
Yeah. You've done good.
I'd done good.
I did sort of force it on you, but you did good.
Well, you know, sometimes you need to intervene. And I'm glad you did. But then off I went again. Back across the ditch. Need some wheels. So what do? Got a taste for Euro now. It's red and it looks good. Yeah.
But it was a 316.
316. It looked awesome. And it had all the bits. It was nice, M Sport. Been really looked after, I thought. You know what's coming.
Oh, not a fail. Bring it on.
Bloody roadworthies that had the suspension was corroded internally. I'll never forget. I went to pick it up to the guy, and he said, "How does this happen?" I'm like, "What?" He said, "Oh, I've been a mechanic for 20 years in Brisbane. I've never seen rust like this ever."
It was been driven in the river.
And he said, "Well, that's what he said." He said, "It's almost like it's been driven in the river, into the salt water or something." But it can't have been, because there's not enough other damage that would occur if it was, you know. And he said, "Oh, it's going to cost about $3,500 to get it fixed." I'm like, "Well, the car cost me $2,000. So bye-bye."
Fail.
Dodgy. Better square one. And then I picked up probably the most underrated car I've ever had, I think. The unique thing with this was another run out of this model before they went to the 380. So it had all the suspension stuff on, the rally art suspension, the NK wheels, and it was manual. And
I think I remember this car.
It was a great car. It was awesome.
You had this a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That was a keeper.
Yeah, that was a good little car.
That was a great car.
Well, that's when Mitsubishi sort of got the nose was the nose that job they did on them was
The nose was
ugly.
a bit baggy.
But
Yeah.
mechanically, Mitsubishi really were top of the game at that stage.
Yep, that 3.5 is a great engine.
Yep.
You know, and that one had been looked after, had full service history. I think it had done, from memory, about 100,000 Ks when I got it.
Yeah.
I did about 30 or 40. And I think I sold it for $500 less than I paid.
Yeah, yeah. No, good.
Awesome.
You did good there. Finally.
Good there.
It's taken a while.
It took a while. So then, yeah, back across the ditch for the final time.
Mm.
So what do? You get the same thing that you had in Australia, except a generation earlier. This one was another manual. Again, perfectly good car. Brought it up in Upper Hutt. Went well.
Was that the one we went and got?
No, I got that from what's it called? Craig's Flat.
Was it
Upper Hutt, on the left.
It was an Upper Hutt one we got. I thought that was one we went and got.
No, I don't think you. I don't know that you're involved in this one.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, I thought okay.
You're not thinking of the Accord.
No, the
From
Accord went over. Mustn't have got that. No, I was pretty sure we went and got the Diamante Sport.
Oh, maybe we did.
I think we did. I do remember the car. I remember the car really well.
It was what do you call that suburb on the left when you're going up State Highway 2?
Riverstone.
Yeah, Riverstone. Yeah,
yeah, no, you're right with that. Yeah, I went there with you.
Yeah. Good car.
It was a good car.
Good guy. Good car.
Yeah, yeah. No, we went here together and got that one.
And yeah, that one ended up with Dad. Dad liked it too.
Yes.
And he had a Ford Falcon station wagon that was
just horrible.
Just getting to the end of its days. So it's nice to return the favour occasionally. So then I became sensible.
Oh, I remember this gun. had the white leather in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is when I first met Mel. You know, thought I'll get something a bit practical. We were talking about buying a house, which obviously we had by the time this photo was taken. So I thought, oh yeah, something practical, station wagon, something nice to drive. And it was a good little car, pretty much, for a while. And then naming cars became a thing.
Thanks, Mel.
And Axel, like the Mitsubishi before it, went to the Wairarapa. Goodbye, Axel. So, what do you do? Got that European taste now.
Oh, this is the 147.
Yeah.
You lady boy. You brought your mum's car. The car your mother would have had.
This was actually a really good car to drive. What it is. What it is, you know. And I got my money back on it. This is where I started actually getting money back on cars instead of buying ones that just either fell apart or blew up. So, you know, this was quite a good shift in my car, buying and selling, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
but the old Clarkson comment.
Thanks to my darling wife giving me a good sensible hat.
Yep. The Clarkson comment is true though. You know, you're not a true petrolhead until you've had an Alfa.
Yes.
And gone through the pain of an Alfa.
Well, if you're going to live by the meme, you're going to die by it. And it's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time.
So before I got to that point, luckily, I actually sold it to a scientist. What kind of scientist buys an Alfa Romeo?
Well, true petrol head anyway. But
anyway.
Anyway.
So then something sensible. It's a bit of a recurring theme. And there's me perfecting my BMW Wave. So this car I picked up on the day that Joe Nalomi passed away. I was driving the guy back to work to drop him off. Guy brought her off.
Yep.
And that came on the news. Hence the car became Jonah. And that was an awesome little car. It was awesome to drive.
Yeah.
But it got boring quickly for the obvious reason. An E39
What,
with
the
a 2.5.
The 2.5, yeah. Yeah. That was the same downfall. It was actually quite a nice car.
It was a lovely car. And again, sold it for what I paid for it.
Yeah.
Got out of it.
But the benefit of the 2.5 is it hasn't really been thrashed because you can't.
No, you can't. It just makes more noise. It doesn't go any faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this was the time we built the house.
So you're trying to be a house there?
Sorry?
Are you trying to be a house?
Yeah, a pretty little house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sensible. The old Honda Accord.
Mighty Honda.
So yeah, this is the one we went to Marston to pick up.
Yeah.
And it was
a good buy.
Perfectly good. Yeah, great buy. This one I actually made money on. Sold it to a work colleague. It was going really well. I was quite happy with it. And then one day I'm cruising up Hayward's Hill on the way. So this is after the house was built. We were living in Whitby then. Cruising up the hill, and someone who was lost did a UE just outside the substation.
Yep.
Across the road. I'm flying up there, you know, doing 99.9 Ks, not exceeding the speed limit, of course. And just clipped them as they pulled in front of me. She clipped the back of me. One to the wheel. Insurance paid out. I sold the car to a workmate who needed something cheap and reliable. He knew what he was buying, and I still see him cruising around the hut in it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think
they're pretty reliable. Those Accord Euros are really reliable little cars.
Well, when we picked it up, I think it was on 230.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure now it's well over 260.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they're okay to drive for what they are.
Oh.
Cheap to run, decent power.
Yeah.
You know? So, time for a good car. First time I spent $10,000 on a car buying this. I did love that car.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Plenty of power.
Plenty of power. Had all the kit. Safe. BMW. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you gotta love those check engine lights.
You know it's coming.
A bit of news anyway, a bit of news you don't know about. Someone's 130i is now sitting in a garage in Porirua.
Oh well. Jolly
it just
good.
Doesn't go. It just stopped
Other
going.
people are hearing this, so no one needs to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, God love the 130s. They are good cars though. That's the thing. They're so good when they're going. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So then I got really sensible and thought, let's get something that's sensible and reliable and modern and won't have the check engine light coming on. And it was a car that I'd always liked. And I quite liked it. But, you know, it was just a bit
You didn't have it very long. You had it for like 5 minutes.
No, we had it for a few months.
And it felt like 5 minutes.
Yeah, got 5 minutes for you. Then Mel's car we decided it was time to replace. So my wife has had her car for decades, literally. It had been in the family since it was new. So she's the antithesis of me. So what we decided to do was get rid of both cars. Say goodbye to Rosie, the little Mazda, and to the bigger Mazda, and become a one-car family because we were both working in town. We never really needed two cars. And got the Suzuki Swift, which we've still got, the Goblin.
I have no comment on this. You know my feelings.
You don't need to comment. It's not your car.
It's fine for Mel's car. That's great.
Did a bit of
Uber
driving? Happy days. The end. Well, it's not really the end, is it?
No, it's not.
We had to have a cat mean. So I stopped working in town, and we did need a second car again. Come on down. The POC Mark 325 Ti.
That was cool.
It was cool.
It was very cool. So they're a cool little car. You did
They are
well.
a cool little car. Yeah.
Rear car.
Fun to drive. The only thing I really wish it had was a third pedal. A manual one of these would be the duck's nuts.
Yeah.
But you can't have everything. It was a good car, you know. Can't remember why.
And what happened? And what happened?
It was a bit small.
Oh.
Needed something practical and a bit more sensible. The power shit.
How'd your transmission?
Transmission was great. Anyone who's watched Fair Go or keeps an eye on automotive lawsuits around the world, this model car has a notoriously crap, made of plastic and rubber bands transmission. So, but this one was good as gold. They're actually a really good handling car. It's just the transmissions are made of Tupperware. So yeah, and then I got a job back in town again. So
And that was a good buy, that one too.
Off it went. Yeah, got my money
that was
back
cheap.
again.
Yeah.
Well, they're even cheaper now.
Well, you're lucky. I say you're lucky you sold it before all that publicity came out.
Well, most people that knew, but yeah, it wasn't really.
Oh yeah,
I suppose.
But the average Joe Punter would see that publicity, and you can buy them now for next to nothing.
No, he thought he's got a good car. Well, they are a good car mostly. They've just got one epic fail point.
Yeah, but a lot of cars do
to drive. They are. The end. Oh, cough. So then I decide, okay, after all these years, I'm going to get my motorbike license. So come on down the little KTM Duke. We do like orange. Sad little man.
How'd it ride like, Corey?
Oh, it rode awesome. Up to half an hour. And then I got cramps in places I didn't even know existed. So yeah, I found a young guy in Stokes Valley who was more than happy to take it off my hands for the right price, which ironically was pretty much what I paid for it. See this recurring thing? I'm learning.
You are
progressing. You know,
it only took about 35.
I was going to say it was a rocky first couple of decades, but you know, we get there. The end. Next minute, got a job, odd hours, need a car, no money to spend.
Oh, yeah.
2000s were out of Camry.
I have no words.
The Cardigan edition. It's practical.
Yeah.
It's reliable.
Nice.
It's cheap to fix, if anything even needs fixing. It's value. I'll get my money back easily again. Drives as smooth as something that's extremely bloody smooth. Secure. No one's dumb enough to want to pinch it. It's even sensible.
Yeah. That's nice. I'm pleased.
But my God. And last week's arrival.
the matching cardigan bike.
That's not a Cardigan bike. Come on.
No, it's a
It's just the guy that's not even allowed to ride one. Turn it up.
How'd the first ride go?
The end. Oh, it's
I saw
good.
the video.
It's quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take a bit of getting used to, but that's all right. It's very comfortable.
Well, it looks like it would be.
That's the idea.
Hmm.
So the end. Possibly.
Maybe.
So that's that.
That's where most of them ended up.
That is where most of them have ended up. You're not
So,
wrong.
okay. Favorite car out of all
So
that?
here's the list. 6 Mitsubishis, 4 Beamers, 3 Fords, not counting the Telstar, 3 Hondas, 2 Toyotas, 2 Mazdas, counting the Telstar, an Audi, a Holden, an Alfa Suzuki, Peugeot.
So what's your favorite?
There's kind of 2 equal favorites, which you can probably guess what they are. The 330i.
Yep.
Is a favorite. And well, maybe there's 3. I did love that little GTI.
Yeah.
But the VR Magna that I had in Australia was pretty cool.
Yep.
But I think the GTI, the fun factor, yeah, is the GTI and the 330i.
What's the most regretful you've sold? If you could look back and buy one back.
Ooh, that's a good question. If it's for value purposes, probably the Starion.
Yep.
If it's for pure, just wanting a car for the shits of it and the fun, it would be the GTI. I'd have another GTI tomorrow. That's just so much fun. You know, at normal road speeds, you don't have to be going 100 whatever K. You know, you can go around a corner at 50K that other people are going around 30, and it's just a hoot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be that. Definitely. Great.
All right. Any car you could have, you could buy tomorrow. If money was an object. Any car, money no object.
Money no object would be a manual BMW. Would I want an M2? Would I want a 140? Probably want a 140. Just because it's more useful every day. M2 is an awesome car, but really only on a track.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, as a realistic lotto car, yeah. Something manual, powerful, practical, fun. Because we're losing, I guess, analog driving.
Correct.
You know, and that's the thing that's, and that's where the fun is.
Yeah.
You know, well, that's where the fun for me is, and probably you and most people of our generation. But, you know, even Mrs. driving a manual car, it's and it's going to become increasingly more difficult to do it.
Yeah, yeah. But, so will we see a new car edition?
Will we see a new one? No.
So it's Camry for a while.
Well, you know, money doesn't grow on trees.
True.
Not for some of us. So yeah, no, it'll be the Camry. There are no plans, and there is no need.
No, true that.
So yeah.
And it is sensible.
Well, it is sensible, you know, and it's transport. And I've got the bike to go out and have fun on. That's what that's for. You know, and that's very analog. No fuel injection.
How's the carburetor?
Fuel gauge. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No ABS. None of that sort of carry on. That's why you can't buy them new after November.
Right.
Because any
Because
new
they're
bike
dead.
sold in New Zealand will have
Dead
ABS. Yeah. No more of that carby nonsense. So no, she's all a bit of fun.
So you didn't go out today, no?
No. No, couldn't be bothered. Too wet.
Yeah, you could take a
Well,
wetsuit and snorkel.
I'm a fair weather rider. You know. But yeah. Bit of fun that.
Do you have any speeding tickets?
Touch wood, not for years.
I've never known you to get a speeding ticket.
I had a couple early on when I was at New Zealand Wines and Spirits back in the day. I got one going down State Highway 2 in Petone, where that camera used to be outside the old Tempin bowling place.
Yeah.
I got one from a traffic cop going down Port Road. I mean, doesn't everybody? I think I was doing about 70. And I got one from a camera when I was in Australia. And I got one from a camera coming down the bottom of the gorge one year, down on the gorge. I think that was when we were out in Whitby.
Yep.
Beamer. I think. No, maybe I didn't. I thought I got flashed, but I never got a ticket.
Yeah.
And maybe I.
Now we heard about the Biffa and the Celeste, and the Biffa and the Honda, the Accord, the Euro. Have you actually biffed anything else?
No, I've been pretty biff free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about minor?
I'm not one for biffing cars if I can help it.
Yeah.
No, the only other one I had when I was in a company car, but we should really talk about that. When I was under the employment of a certain brewery. The less said about that experience, the better. Suffice to say, actually no, suffice not to say anything. But yeah,
no, fair enough.
That's the only incidents I've had over the years. Touch wood.
Yeah, fair enough too.
Well, why make things difficult for yourself?
Well, true that.
Yeah. You've been pretty good too, though, haven't you?
Yeah,
had a couple in your younger days.
Younger days, yeah, a couple of good decent ones, which you got to learn from.
You do,
and
you've got to test the boundaries.
That's pretty good. I do remember you flying off of my bonnet, going up the driveway of in York Bay. One night we were trying to come back and try and drive up the driveway and getting stuck, and you decided to get out and jump on the bonnet. You don't remember this?
No.
And you went flying off into the bushes.
I remember nearly tipping one of Works when I was at Kirk Motors, nearly tipping one of the vans over on that driveway.
On that driveway, we had the van,
having it on,
trying to
balancing it on two wheels.
Yeah, and I was hanging off the back corner of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a bit hairy.
Yeah, that driveway was dodgy.
Everything about that place was dodgy.
Yeah. So do you remember a certain drive out at Lake Ferry that we did back in the BMW?
Yes.
And coming back, I think we were heading towards Cardigan and running the stop sign at about 160 k an hour.
You know, other people are listening to this, hey?
It's all right.
I'm glad I wasn't driving.
I just remember you saying stop sign, and we're doing about 160.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do speed codes, do it on roads that you know.
Next minute we're in Cardigan.
Don't do it on roads that you don't know, especially if you don't listen to your mate next to you who does know. But anyway. And yeah, the fastest I've driven on a public road, nobody needs to know that.
Oh, exactly. I'm not saying what I've driven either.
Suffice to say, it was not in one of these cars.
Well,
the joys of working for a motor vehicle dealership.
I was going to say Mitsubishi Motors by chance.
Possibly. But yeah. Anyway, any final comments?
The list is it has some highs and lows.
It has
You know,
a
the
lot
highs,
more lows than
the highs
highs.
are quite good. The lows are incredibly fucked.
They are.
I'm disappointed,
That's a
sad,
technical term, and I appreciate your expertise in sharing it.
and you know, I'm disappointed, saddened, and sometimes makes us feel violently ill by
Yeah.
some of that list.
Some would say shocked.
But all in all, probably a good mixture.
Mixture is certainly a word that one could use.
Yeah,
If one was
yeah.
trying
But I
not
do
to be
like
too critical.
the common occurrence of you blowing up car after car after car, which
Well, I don't think it's fair to say that I blew them up. You know, most of them, as we've covered, have inherent design faults.
the
fact that I like to explore limits can obviously expose some of these flaws.
Oh, exactly.
Some would call it scientific,
Yes.
you know. But
The great
as
thing
we touched on,
I did enjoy going through this with you, is watching how you have grown from this experience.
well, I was going to say, I have learned, you know, and
You have learned.
after throwing away lots of money in the first, probably 15, 20 years, the last decade and a bit, I think we've done all right,
You've done well.
you know. But who knows what the future holds?
Ah.
Stranger things have happened.
It has.
I'd say. But yeah. So yeah, on that bombshell. Thanks, Graham. It's been,
Thanks for having me.
I was going to say it's been fun, kind of. Thanks, fella.
All right, mate.
Don't go back. We'll be right away.
I'll talk to you
Been
later.
good.